All right, this next one here, this is one that I didn't get to in the last one here, the last live stream. This is Until You Wake Up, remastered 2025 version. I actually kind of see this this little note here too, which is pretty dope that Praxia shouted out our channel here. Yeah, let's watch this and we'll talk about it.
Praxia.
Oh yeah, man, I remember this. This is such a cool track, man. Ooh, I love that. Nice. Dude, that production is like so sick, man. I need to look up, because I think when we were chatting like a year ago, you told me about this one plugin. I have a few things that I wanted to talk about with this one, but this is so sick, man. Trying to like remember, man. I remember when we were talking, you were saying like that there was this plugin that like it basically like took a sound or like a reverb and it like made it into like a chord.
Chroma, a harmonic sweetener.
I need to like look up the name of that plugin.
Chroma.
I need to look up that one plugin.
Hey, I'm Nasco and I collaborated with Synth Audio to create our plugin called Chroma.
The production on this is like so crazy. It's really like heavenly. Like listening to it, it's like this like cinematic ambient like pad that you have with these like light drums, and they're like fast, like the drum and bass style drums. Like the energy on this is just like insane. Like it's just I love it so much, man. I need to listen to it again. This is really just like a breath of fresh air, this track. And I feel like the quality of it is just super like dope. Like it's such a good mix. I love this soft intro. Okay, so this is like a really dope part in here. Like the best like production techniques that I have learned in kind of like all of my like, you know, like years making beats and stuff. I think I've taken a lot of like inspiration and like technique, I guess for lack of a better word, from EDM producers. Like even when I'm working on like trap beats and hip hop and pop and stuff, what I learned kind of like early on when I was making beats is that like a lot of like EDM producers do a lot of really dope stuff with transition sounds, kind of like white noise, like impacts, risers, stutter sounds. And I really love what you did with this one, is like kind of teasing the drums with like a filter that you're bringing in through it. Like, and I had a friend I remember years and years ago. He also like, he was like really good at it. A really technical guy. And he said that like, especially with like EDM music, like it always kind of follows this pattern where it's like you bring people in, you kind of like bring them up a little bit, and then you kind of grow it, and then you'll drop it down, and then you'll kind of bring it here, and then up, and then down. And it's like constantly this like, almost like roller coaster where you're teasing more elements, then quickly bringing it up, like with a riser or impact, or bringing these drums and growing it and throwing everything out there and then taking it away. And that's one thing that like I learned, like especially from like EDM producers, because I think they're just like so good, you know, with that, right? Making like DJ mixes and mashups and hyping up the crowd and stuff. It's even for an instrumental. That's one thing that like I really took away from like electronic, you know, music producers. Like you nailed it with this one. Like I can even tell, like, you know, you kind of bring this like bass element, and then the drums fade in, and then like a couple risers, and then right before like the kind of, you know, quote unquote drop, you build like bring in even more like quicker like risers just to build the tension, right? And I love that kind of like stutter right there too. That's just like a little thing that just adds like so much like excitement to the track. Again, this is like the part here where it's kind of like this like down part. That's such a good part right there, man. That 2-second part there is like insane, man. Like with the when the vocals drop and then there's like this kind of like dubsteppy bass and it just reverses back into it. Like that's so sick. Oh, that's so dope. Nice. I love like the kind of like vocal cuts in the background too. That's I love that. That's sick, man. Yeah, I just hope you've been good, man.